Hello everyone, this is Dr. Cho. Today we are diving into the differences between low-carb high-fat LCHF diets and low-carb or low-sugar diets. A lot of you are curious about what set them apart. You get that both involve eating fewer carbs, but is low-carb just about cutting carbs? While LCHF adds a ton of fat. And the big question, Dr. Cho, which one's better? I always give a wise answer to a silly question. Today we'll compare the two, look at their similarities and differences, and figure out which might be best. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe. Let's start with low carb high fat, or LCHF for short. It's also called the ketogenic diet, or just keto, especially in the US and Korea. In Europe, they stick with LCHF. LCHF means keeping daily carbs under 50 grams. Those who are strict might go as low as 20 to 30 grams. The missing energy? You get it from fat by eating more of it. Carbs provide glucose for energy, but fat produces ketones, which your body can use just as well. The biggest perk of LCHF is that you can confirm you're in ketosis, a state where your body burns fat instead of carbs for energy. It's like a hybrid car switching from gas to electricity. You can easily check ketosis with a urine test or a breath analyzer. That's a huge plus. It lets you know you're on track. And if you have a doctor or coach, they can verify it too. On the other hand, a low-carb or low-sugar diet keeps daily carb under 100 grams. Isn't 100 grams a lot? You might think, but the average person eats about 300 grams of carbs a day, mostly bad ones like soda, instant coffee, juice, pizza, burgers, and flour-heavy foods. If you cut that to 100 grams and choose good carbs, your body changes dramatically. Insulin resistance improves, and your health gets a boost. What are good carbs? Veggies, fruits, and sweet potatoes. In the US, they love sweet potatoes, not yams, but the less sweet kind we have in Korea. They're not as tasty, to be honest. The key for both diets is cutting out processed foods and eating healthy carbs, whether it's 100 grams or 20 grams. The big advantage of a low-carb diet is that it's easier to stick with long-term compared to LCHF. Some of you on LCHF might say, "What's so hard about it?" But plenty of people find LCHF tough to follow strictly. Older folks often struggle from the start, and younger people tend to half follow it, thinking, as long as I lose weight, who cares? Up to your late 20s, high metabolism, especially for men, means you can get away with a looser approach. But in your 40s or 50s, it's not the same. A 50-year-old trying to mimic a young person's casual approach won't see results. It's not the diet, it's your body. Sticking to LCHF strictly is harder than it seems. Older folks often find it easier to maintain a low-carb diet with brown rice or veggies. That's why low-carb is more sustainable for some. That said, LCHF has some unbeatable advantages. First, it burns fat faster than a low-carb diet, which is why it's so popular for weight loss. Dieting is always a hot topic. Second, it's great for people with high blood pressure, insulin resistance, or metabolic syndrome. It lowers blood sugar, insulin, and inflammation while stabilizing metabolism-related hormones. Compared to just starving yourself or cutting calories, LCHF keeps you in better shape. No brain fog, dizziness, or sluggishness. For those with chronic fatigue, trouble getting up in the morning, or feeling wiped out by the afternoon, LCHF can be a game changer. I'd also suggest cutting caffeine. If you're still tired on LCHF, Check if you're eating too much protein instead of fat. LCHF is also recommended for autoimmune conditions like atopic dermatitis, asthma, or allergies. It helps calm an overactive immune system, reducing sensitivity. Many people's immune systems overreact to minor triggers. That's what causes allergies or asthma. LCHF restores balance powerfully. For neurological conditions like Parkinson's, early dementia, nerve pain, or epilepsy, LCHF was originally designed as a therapeutic diet, not for weight loss. Increasing fat intake, often with coconut oil or butter, can transform lives. These stories fuel the LCHF community's growth, with people passionately sharing their experiences. Dismissing these stories as just personal experiences without data is wrong. These cases spark research. That's how good science works. If you close your ears to claims like eating saturated fat raises cholesterol and causes heart attacks, you're stuck in dogma, not science. It's like a religious belief far from true scientific thinking. Doctors should observe patients, report case studies, and start research from there. In fact, LCHF studies are already happening. Even hospitals now say, cut carbs. More research is coming, and thanks to the internet, anyone can access it. No library needed. There are no secrets anymore, just a matter of whether you're curious enough to look. Section 6, Dr. Cho's diet and advice. So, which is better? Instead of answering directly, I'll share how I eat. I do intermittent fasting and a low-carb diet most of the time, but every few weeks or months, I switch to LCHF. I eat pasta at home occasionally, like on a chill Friday, maybe once a week. I exercise a lot, have good metabolism, and I'm healthy, so I can handle some processed foods or dining out. I'm in my mid-30s, but have the metabolism and fitness of a late 20-year-old. For patients, though, I recommend sticking to LCHF and intermittent fasting strictly until they hit their goals, whether it's weight loss, better blood sugar, or lower cholesterol. Avoid processed foods and eating out for now. Everyone's different. Some don't need LCHF. Low-carb or vegetarian diets might be enough. Once you reach your goal, you can ease into a low-carb diet with intermittent fasting, like me. The key is finding a sustainable lifestyle you can maintain forever, not a torturous program you ditch after a few weeks. If you start LCHF or intermittent fasting and feel awful, body aches, fatigue, intense cravings, it's not failure. Often toxins stored in fat are being released. That's why you need a good mentor, doctor, or coach to guide you. Don't stumble alone. LCHF and low-carb diets aim for similar goals but work differently. Even vegetarian diets can have comparable effects. Whether you hear LCHF cured my diabetes and I lost 20 kilos or vegetarianism fixed my blood pressure, both can be true. I'll explain why in the next video. If this helped, please like, subscribe, and share your story in the comments. Let's build a healthy lifestyle together.